welcome to Sling Paint Gaming, hosted by Recon Specialist TV. I'm Patrick. Today we're going to be talking about World of Tanks, the miniatures game, specifically the shooting phase. People have been asking online how to either build the dice pool, how the dice cancel each other out. So today we're going to go over each of those steps, cards that can change or modify the attack, and how to cancel the dice as the defending player and also as the shooting or attacking player. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, we have our example set up. We have the SU-100 shooting at the Firefly over in the corner here. Normally the SU-100 rolls 6 dice. In this case, it rolled all 6, re-rolled the blanks, and ended up with 3 hits and a crit. We then have the Sherman over here that's in cover. So it has 1 for its base, 2 for its movement, and then finally the last one for being in cover, bringing up to 4 dice. In this case, it rolled 2 hits and 1 crit. When canceling dice, you want to make sure to use all criticals first from the defending player's pool. You can use your criticals to cancel any hit or crit. As long as you don't have any criticals remaining, you go through each die one by one. In this case, we're going to cancel 1 crit for 1 crit. Now that there are no crits left in the defense dice pool, we then use the attacker dice to cancel any remaining hits that are in the defending dice pool. In this case, it's 2 attack dice, leaving 1 hit to go through onto the Sherman. There is a situation in which the defending player can use its 1 crit to cancel 1 hit, leaving 2 hits and 1 crit. In this case, now the attacking player gets to decide either to let 2 hits go through or a hit and a crit. In this case, it's going to use one of its hits to cancel a hit, and another hit to cancel a hit, allowing 1 crit to go through. You can also have it to where the attacking player can use its crit and hit to allow 1 hit to go through. So there is a very important orders of operation into which you'll want to, as a defending player, decide if you want hits to go through or crits, and as the attacking player, if you want hits or crits to go through. Because there are upgrade cards that can affect the outcome of the resulting dice. Say CO2 tanks that can cancel a direct hit, or a crew that can cancel an ammo explosion, or even another upgrade that can make a bailed out just go away. And there's also 0 damage critical cards as well. So let's head over to our another example. Okay, in our next example we have the Stug that is shooting at the Firefly. The Stug has the 10.5 centimeter cannon, which gives him a base of 6 attack dice. With the Eagle Eye, you can roll 1 less dice to change a hit to a crit, and Binocular Telescopes allows us to change a hit to a crit as well. So after rolling 5 dice and re-rolling, we then modified 4 hits to include 2 crits, so it's 2 hits and 2 crits. The Sherman, only rolling 3 dice, did manage to roll 2 crits and a blank, because it's 1 for its base, 2 for its movement, and that would be it. It doesn't get a cover save or it doesn't have any other upgrades. However, it did have preventative maintenance and spall liner, so it did modify 2 hits to 2 crits. So that is significant because when the dice are now compared, you have 2 crits and 2 hits on the Stug. It then goes over to the defending player's dice. You have to use all of your crits to cancel out as many of the attacking dice as possible until there are no crits remaining in the dice pool. So, I get to decide, do I want to cancel 1 hit and 1 crit? Do I want to cancel both of the crits instead with my 2 dice, or cancel 2 of the hits with my 2 dice? That's the choice of the defending player, and it's really important. Because if I have things like crew or upgrades, for example CO2 tanks that get rid of direct hits, or a crew card that says ammo explosion gets turned face down, or you can cancel it to flip this card over. So it's really up to you to decide, which do you really want to go through. In this case, all we have is preventive maintenance and spall liner. We used these 2 cards to make sure we can modify these to 2 crits, and then there's an added bonus. So I'm going to cancel these 2 crits with my 2 crits, so those dice go away. Now there's 2 remaining hits on the table, and you'd think, oh good, 2 hits onto the Sherman. However, if you notice, this one says high explosives. Discard all hits before assessing the damage, which means these go away. You can't use those for damage. You now notice there are no dice left in the attack pool. That means there's no damage on the Sherman. So it is very important when you are using your dice to cancel the attacking dice. First, you use all of your crits. Once all of those are out of the dice pool, then then the attacking player has to use their remaining dice to cancel out your hits and crits. I understand it's confusing, but it's really simple once you get into the hang of it, and pay attention to your upgrades and also basically what dice are remaining or will be remaining that the attacking player gets to choose, and vice versa, because you really want to make it to where either a hit or a crit can go through, or even in most situations, which this has happened with me and Robert on several occasions, for example, many times, let's say that for all intent and purposes, we have the Sherman shooting at the SU-100 up here, and the SU-100 is down to 1 health. It's got nothing remaining. It's got all the defense dice. It only rolled 2 hits. However, well, actually, we'll say a hit and a crit, and then the Firefly rolled hit, crit. Now, as the defending player, the SU-100 can say, oh, you know what? I'm going to cancel this crit, or I'm going to cancel this hit and this hit. Then the attacking player, the Firefly, goes, oh, good. I'm going to let a crit go through, and then all of a sudden that crit is something that doesn't do damage. It's a 0 damage card. Exactly. And then all of a sudden you didn't kill the tank you intended to, and that tank can then fire back at you. So you have to pay attention as the attacking player, because in this case it has 1 health left. You know it's going to kill it with 1 hit, so you cancel the crit, or the hit and the hit, and you leave 1 hit left on the table so that it goes through and kills the SU-100. So this is a great example of how to do your dice cancellation, and how dice cancellation is incredibly important. Because again, if you can cancel a crit with a crit, or a crit with a hit instead, leaving your opponent to choose, okay, you know what, I want a crit to go through, and then the crit does, and nothing, you get 0 damage, maybe even a bailed out, and you have a card that can cancel the bailed out. That's something you really need to pay attention to and anticipate as a tank player, because let me tell you, things that I staple on there is CO2 tanks, crew that allow me to, not take a shaken or a stun, or even an ammo explosion, because that can save your tank in the long run. And even cards that let you modify hits to crits on defense, and most definitely cards that let you modify hits to crits on offense, especially with the Stug and high explosives. So pay attention to those. It's very crucial, and it can save your game. All right, I hope this video has been helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Let us know what snafus you've run into, and we can try to make another video for you. And everyone have a good day.